Hey guys, welcome back to Sussy Stuff. I'm Molly and I'm here with Emma today, and we're going to go ahead and preview the Arkansas-Texas game. All right, Emma, how are you feeling about the game this weekend?
Well, Texas is sitting at number 3 in the CFP right now. They are obviously locked and loaded on both sides of the ball. I know they fell short against Georgia, but I think there was some internal issues that have since, it seems right now, have been worked out. So I feel like playing Arkansas, who hasn't been consistent at all this season, really, I think they're going to pull out a strong performance, but we're obviously going to break it down a little bit for you guys today.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a team that's 8-1 versus a team that's 5-4. So
Yeah.
clearly the odds just off the pure stats right there are going to favor Texas. You also have a lot more going on in Texas right now. You've got a lot more structured of a team. I feel like Arkansas this season just hasn't been super consistent, and they've also been messing around with their players. You know, they've put new players in, they've taken them out, and they're just not consistent on any level. So I'm obviously going to go ahead and favor Texas on this one. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some cool Arch Manning playing time this weekend. We'll probably get some second, third, and fourth lines playing this weekend. I think it's going to be a good game. However, I never know at the SEC. I always want to go in, very humbled. I don't want to go in too cocky. I don't want Texas to go in too cocky. It's just, we've seen what that does in the past for them. And they're coming off a fresh win, and Arkansas is coming off a fresh loss from Ole Miss. They held their own though with Ole Miss. I know it was a 30-point difference in the game. However, they still scored over 30 points. So I do think that is something to say about them, is they're definitely feisty. They're a feisty team in this SEC.
Absolutely. And, Arkansas, they brought back former head coach Bobby Petrino as their offensive coordinator. They really wanted to spark head coach Sam Pittman's offense. And Taylen Green has made an impact. He's a Boise State transfer. He really elevated Arkansas's offense. He has a dual threat ability, which equates now to 2,200 passing yards, 11 passing touchdowns, 411 rushing yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns in 9 games, which is amazing. So Arkansas this year has obviously increased their offensive ability, which is always good to see. We want to see teams developing, especially under head coaches that have been there. So Texas, however, has Steve Sarkisian. He's been there for a couple minutes now, and he has a national championship caliber team. They were there last year in the semifinals, very, very close to making it all the way to the national championship to play Michigan. So obviously, this game is kind of lopsided, but we don't want to underestimate Arkansas by any means, because they did pull out a win over Tennessee, which upset their almost perfect season. So while I am favoring Texas, I do want to say that because Taylen Green is back, or at least they say he's going to be playing in this game, that him being a mobile quarterback could really disrupt Texas in a big way.
Well, and just like we talked about this last week when we were reviewing Texas' last game, Texas run defense is just not doing too well this year. So you really just don't know. I mean, you just never know with the SEC. This conference is one of the most competitive. And I feel like Arkansas is a team that has a lot of grit. So we will see this weekend, especially now that, they've got some great players. We're just going to have to see how it goes. Obviously, Texas is favored by a lot. I'm really excited to watch this game.
Well, like you were saying, Molly, Texas has not been strong against the run. And with Taylen Green, he is 6'6", and he is an absolutely amazing dual quarterback. So if he is healthy and he is mobile, that is going to be a big impact and test for Texas's defense, because they could barely control Diego Pavia, and Diego Pavia is not the same size as Taylen Green. So I'm really interested to see that matchup this week and see how it affects Texas and if they can overcome that, because they will be playing Texas A&M, who does have Marcel Reed, who is also a dual threat quarterback. So we have to see if they're going to be able to contain these guys moving forward, because that'll be a big indicator on how they're going to do in that Texas A&M game and how they're going to be doing in the playoffs, because we've seen a lot of these mobile quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you were just saying, I mean, when you're comparing the two quarterbacks, Quinn Ewers is a little bit more of a traditional quarterback, kind of like a Tom Brady style, really throws, is a great athlete. I mean, he's very athletic. We don't see him often run the ball. He's also injury prone. So you just really want to be careful with Ewers. He's an amazing quarterback. I do want to say that, but I think he's more of a traditional get the ball down the field. Let's have a Hail Mary here. Whereas obviously when you have a more diverse quarterback that is as big as this guy is, I mean, he's a monster. That's a huge quarterback. Like, let's just talk about that. But that is multifaceted where they run the ball, they're able to rush their own ball. I mean, that is something that you just don't see with every quarterback.
But Texas, they do have a couple weaknesses this week. So on their injury reports, we did see Mo Blackwell, who's linebacker. He is very doubtful for this game, and he has contributed to 21 tackles this season, a standout player for this team. Colton Vasquez, who's also an edge, he's doubtful as well. He's had 6 tackles, 2.5 TFLs, and 2 sacks this year. So these are major players on the defense that they kind of need to get the job done. I think, yes, take this game to rest, and hopefully they're back for Texas A&M. But without them, that could cause Texas to be a little shaky here. However, overall, I am expecting Quinn Ewers to have a big, big game. I think Isaiah Bond will make a major impact, both in passing and rushing plays. And I think Texas is going to pull this one out and continue their path to try to get to the SEC championship with that Texas A&M game and rivalry weekend marked on their calendar.
Amen, Emma. Amen. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, reviewing and previewing the Texas Arkansas game this weekend. If you want to hang out some more, I'm actually going to be watching the Texas Arkansas game live on the Sassy Stuff page on TikTok. So come and join me, watch my real raw reactions, and we'll see you guys next week.